Good morning. Make sure my mic's on. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 266. Happy Saturday. Um, been up for a while, but I realized late last night that I used the last of the coffee. So yesterday was actually, I was running low on coffee, and it turned out good because I realized, and I always forget when I run out of coffee, and then like at night, like I'm starting to mentally prepare myself for the next day, and it's like, shoot, I need coffee. So Friday morning, I wake up and I go downstairs and I go to get the coffee, and shoot, I used the last of my coffee yesterday. But there's like, I'm the guy that like leaves like small amounts of coffee in the bags, and then my wife gets upset because, are you going to use this? And it's like, no, there's just a little bit left. Well, then you should have thrown it away 3 weeks ago. So like, I'm that guy. Like, it's just, well, maybe I'll consolidate it, and I end up never consolidating the coffee. So I realized, crap, I just have these two leftover coffee bags left. So one of the small leftovers actually had enough for a pot, and it was the good stuff. It was the Highlander grog that I really like. So I was able to get a pot, and I'm like, well, it's Friday. I'm going to run out anyway to the card shop garage sale. I'll check out Target, and I'll pick up the coffee. Completely forgot about it until late last night. Realized now I know I'm out of coffee. What am I going to do? Am I going to go without coffee? Heck no. I'll just run out when I wake up and run to McDonald's. So I got up this morning and like, well, I'll just go to McDonald's. I'll get a couple breakfast burritos and a coffee. And then I realized it's Saturday. I have all the time. McDonald's coffee sucks. It really does. And the only reason I get McDonald's is because there's always McDonald's on the way to, like, usually if I get coffee, like if I'm out and about and need coffee, it's because I'm going somewhere and like I'm on a schedule, and there's always a McDonald's like on the way. But it's like, I have extra time. I can go off the beaten path because our Dunkin' Donuts is kind of like, actually, it's probably, now that I think about it, now that I'm really thinking about it, the Dunkin' Donuts is actually just as off the beaten path as our McDonald's is. So, so I'm like, screw it. I'm not having that crappy McDonald's coffee. I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts, and I had their sausage, egg, and cheese croissant. It was very good, and the coffee is excellent because I actually buy Dunkin' Donuts coffee like in the grocery store. And actually, that was so, and I think Zach and Porter, what's up, Zach? Good morning, Herman. I think you guys play the question of the day, and I don't know if you play Jeopardy through Alexa, but that's what my wife and I do. Like during dinner, we play question of the day, and then we play Jeopardy. And it was a question, I think it was Jeopardy last night through the Alexa app, and it was like, what chain dropped the donuts or the D off their name, and it was Dunkin'. However, their Twitter handle is still Dunkin' Donuts, but their branding on their coffee cups still says, or just says, Dunkin'. So I think they're in kind of they're in a confusing stage of their switch. So I'm going to go back up to the chat. Sorry I missed you guys. So Zach says, Cubs are heating up. Will this impact the quest for 1 million Cubs? Will more collectors invest in 91 Fleer? Prices are like on the rise. Fortunately, I still have some. I actually reached out my buddy David that I picked up like 30-some thousand cards from earlier this year. He currently has 45,000 ready to go for me. Should be over 50,000. We're going to meet up in June. So still 3 months. So it's going to be in excess of 50,000 from him. I know Mike Summer has a bunch for me. So I plan on taking a trip down to Bloomington, Illinois at some point this summer, meeting up with Mike. We actually haven't met in person. We met at the National 2 years ago. So plan on doing that as well. So I can still find some deals on the Cubs card market. But it's nice to see them actually hit the ball, and I don't have to laugh at the batting averages anymore. They're starting to tick up. The rank for black coffee is Dunkin', Quick Trip, McDonald's, then Starbucks. $1 cup of coffee is a good deal through McDonald's. Yeah, it's a good deal, but it's gross. I've never had. There's a Quick Trip. Like Quick Trip is literally like 2 blocks away from me. So I live like on the far west side. So like it's just all subdivisions around here. But there's a Quick Trip like just down the road. I guess it would be like we're kind of out in the country, so it's not really 2 blocks, but essentially it's like 2-3 blocks, city blocks. But I've never had their coffee. I don't think I have. I've gone there for like creamer, and I've gone there for like breakfast sandwiches in the morning, but I don't think I've ever had their coffee. So I'll have to try that. Maybe next time I'll just run to Quick Trip, because it would have been way faster. Because Dunkin's, I don't know, 10 minutes away. Quick Trip is like 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes. So Golden Pantry coffee. I've never heard of that. That must be a southern, is that a southern gas station or southern? Karuba coffee. I've tried Karuba. Quick Trip is God's gas station. Yeah, Quick Trip is amazing. The first time I went to Quick Trip was I was visiting some friends in Minnesota, and we went to Quick Trip, and they had like meat, like let's get some hamburger. It's like this gas station has everything. So yeah, Quick Trip is great. Typically, like the Quick Trip that I go to just down the street, if I'm getting, they don't have a very good beer selection. So I'll get like the Spotted Cow, or if it's a Saturday hobby roundtable, I'll get my Bud Light over there. But that's typically, I get gas there sometimes. But I take it for granted. I think I take Quick Trip for granted because it's right there, and it's like, oh, I'll just drive in and go somewhere else. Nat Geo quiz. I'll have to check that out, because sometimes we run out of time, or we have extra time, and it's like, and then we'll play like heads up trivia, I think, is another one we play. But it's not the same as our question of the day in Jeopardy. So yesterday, I felt good yesterday. Quick Trip and GP use the same. Okay. Sounds right. Yesterday, I felt great. Had my second COVID shot on Thursday night. I woke up a little groggy yesterday morning. And I mentioned it yesterday on the show. It kind of felt like waking up from after taking Sudafed. Just kind of groggy, but I snapped out of it. And after I had a cup or two of coffee, felt great. Felt good all day. I felt better than I did the day before, right before I got the shot, but that was probably because I had the anxiety of getting the second shot and worrying how crappy am I going to feel Friday. So I felt good. So I actually did some like I had like scratched off Friday as far as hobby stuff. Like I'm not planning on anything, because I might feel like absolute garbage. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up and do all these things, and then when I feel like garbage, not scratch anything off the list. So did a bunch of eBay packaging. I went to the card shop garage sale, which is disappointing. I did make a Target run, which was par for the course, I guess. Disappointing, but expected. And then I sleeved up some cards last night. Got some more cards ready for Zach. They'll go out today, Zach. So I'll talk about my disappointing experience at the card shop. And so I know that this has been Herman and Ken have talked about this the last couple of weeks. Like, what do you expect from a card shop? And so like up until fairly recently, like I haven't really gone to a card shop to buy like cards. Usually I've gone up until like within the last, I don't know, 6 to 9, 10 months. I've gone to a card shop. I've gone to a card shop to get wax, to get supplies, and that's it really. I've never really, up until a year ago, I've never bought singles because they've always been overpriced. Card shops are always like, well, I can get this cheaper online. Like it's always been Beckett value. Fortunately, that's kind of going away. Now everything is like eBay comped, and it's like, well, it's not like I like looking for deals. So, but the actual brick and mortar card shop here has some great bargain boxes. And so I've like dug through there, and maybe I'll go there today. I've dug through there and found some amazing deals, like Justin Verlander rookie card, $5. I sold it for like 32. So I'm kind of looking for some retail arbitrage, but I'm pulling some Cubs as well. Like I pulled a couple Javi Baez rookie cards for $1 a piece. Chris Bryant first Bowman's $1 a piece. So backstory. So I went to my former LCS, which is where, back when hobby was affordable, that's where I would get like a box here and there. So instead of, it was kind of like a treat. Like it's Saturday, Topps just came out this week. I want to open something. I'd go buy a Topps hobby box. I never really pre-ordered Topps flagship, but I'd go to the LCS and buy a Topps hobby box. And I do it with like Ginter and Heritage, just some random stuff. And basically his prices were at or slightly above like online prices. So like, say a hobby box of Topps I could buy for 65 back in the day. I could buy it for like 65, $70 on blowout. He was charging like 75, 80. So he was a tick above, but it's that convenience. And, sometimes I want to rip, and it's like, well, I don't, you don't know ahead of time if you're going to rip in some cases. So I would run to his shop. It was a very clean and organized shop. A ton of, like, he had like a wax wall, and it was so overpriced. Like he had like, and this was back when he had the shop, everything was so overpriced on the junk wax. But he had good deals on supply. So I shouldn't be surprised when I see these overpriced boxes when I went yesterday. So I go yesterday. So, okay. So more backstory. So his card shop flooded out, in 2016, 17, 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. I had the blog. I had the 1 Million Cubs project, so I started that in 17. So it would have been the summer of 2018. His card shop sat kind of low. We literally had 1.5 foot of rain in a 24-hour time span. So I mean, it was like a flood of like mini centuries, not just a century. We had like 16 inches of rain fall in 24 hours. My wife actually flooded her car. So my mother-in-law lived like 2 miles, like as the crow flies, to the north, but you had to kind of go east, north, back west to actually get to her house. And so she had a basement that was partially finished, partially storage, and it started flooding, like fortunately in the unfinished part. So we had gone and we were like scooping up water, putting in, and it was a mess. Neighbors were over there. So I'm in the basement here. Crap, we're getting 16 inches of rain. I need to go protect, stuff in our basement. So I come home. Yeah, Herman, I did blog about it. So I came home. At the time it was bone dry, thank the Lord. And so my wife calls. We were this is just crazy. So at the same time, we were also like watching over our neighbor's cat and dog because they were out of town. So I come back to check on our basement. My wife goes over to our friend's house to check on the pets, and mother-in-law calls. It's getting worse. So my wife, gets them fed, takes them out. She runs back. I'm finishing up here, and then I start to go back, and I can't. It's completely flooded at the roundabout, that we have to get back north. It's completely flooded. I actually made it through some water that I probably shouldn't have. And then I wasn't even going to attempt to traverse the next bout. Um, Another friend was on the way coming in from the other direction, and he has a big like F-250 truck. He couldn't make it through coming in from the west. So it's like, okay, I can't come in from the east. There's no way I'm going to be able to come in from the west. My wife had already made it, and her car flooded out in the street, like 2 doors down from my mother-in-law's house. It actually sat there. We had cars stalled out everywhere, and hers was stalled out right in the middle of the street. She actually had to get a new car. It was a lease, and it flooded out. It was a big thing. So that's kind of the backstory of the flood. It was a crazy, crazy flood. So the card shop was flooded out, and I did blog about it, I think August of 2018. If you go into the archives at 1millioncubs.com, because I went there. So the flood happened on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And then so I went over there on because I had read either a tweet from somebody, one of the local news people was there. So he had like tweeted about it, started a GoFundMe. So I went over there on Saturday, and Tom is the owner's name. So he was like cleaning up. He had like garbage bags just full of stuff. And I actually, there were people like picking through this wet card stuff, and it's like, ugh. So he's like, yeah, if you want anything, just take it. It's like, and I did. I grabbed a Cubs Sammy Sosa. It was in like a top, not a top loader, a one touch, and it was a Sosa McGuire from like the home run chase, and it was like all wet and stuff. But I grabbed it as a piece of the Cubs collection, as a part of history, in the card shop being flooded out. So so that was kind of the backstory. So he had to close his shop down. He had storage, and I think he had at one time a brick and mortar about an hour northwest of here. And then he lives in a suburb to the north. So he closed the shop down, and actually that whole like complex is now closed, and they're tearing it all down and building new something. So now he does shows, he does eBay, and he does garage sales during the spring, summer, and fall. And Herman says, you talk about this now, and we're getting 6 inches of rain. Uh-oh. So I'm fortunate that 16 inches of rain, we didn't get a drop of water in our basement. So I'm very fortunate. So he does these garage sales. So right after the flood, he had some awesome deals. Like I bought a box of 89 Donruss for $10. I bought, because I still have some of it, I think 88 Tops. Yeah, I bought the 88 Tops box for $5. I bought a 91 Score for $5. What else did I buy? There was a couple other boxes, like 90 Fleer. For like, I spent like $100 and got like 4 or 5, 6 hobby boxes. So fast forward to last summer. Of course, we're now seeing prices uptick. He had a hobby box of 90 Tops for 40, or yeah, I think it was $40. And I'm like, geez, $40. He was selling these for $5 a year ago. So I look online, and that's like the going price on eBay. And I actually had one, and I sold it for like, I think $37.50 is what I sold mine for. So last night I went, and of course that's the first. It's mostly wax. It's a lot of like old wax, and it's old wax because it's super high priced and nobody buys it. So his 90 Tops hobby boxes were now $50. 88 Tops that I bought a year and a half ago for $5 is now $40. 89 Tops is $40. What else was there? So I talked about the brick and mortar card shop had a 2020 Bowman Draft hobby box for $375, and I paid $320 through the Tops website for mine, which I thought I overpaid for. But then I looked, now they're selling for like $600. So the card shop garage sale, $680. So for 2020 Bowman Draft hobby box. So then it's like, okay, well, maybe he has bargain boxes. And I've dug through his bargain boxes and they're not really bargains. So I dig through. He has glass cases, okay? And he has a 1990 Fleer Cubs sticker priced at 50 cents for a stupid sticker from 90 Fleer. 50 cents. Get out of here. Come on. So I looked through the bargain boxes. Rookie cards. Oh, hey, what's the rookie cards? Addison Russell, who's been out of the league for 2 years because of his off the field issues. $3 for an Addison Russell rookie. I wouldn't buy one for 25 cents. So that's just kind of some of what was there. Now he does have supplies and he's got good deals on supplies and he's a nice guy. So I just don't like his prices. Supplies. I bought his penny sleeves are actually a penny. He didn't have too many, so I bought 5 packs because I bought 30,000 this week. I still don't have shipping notifications, so it's like it's the weekend. I want to sleeve some cards up. So I bought 500 penny sleeves. So it was really disappointing. Like I walked away with a couple penny sleeves, and that's it. So his price is so back. And now it would have been a deal. But at the time, it's like, come on, you don't want to move anything. So one of his first garage sales, he was telling me about these guys that were buying like truckloads of his 89 Donruss, 89 Fleer hobby boxes. And he had, and at that time, he had good prices on them. Like we're talking $5, $10. And so I said, so I could buy, 89 Donruss hobby box for $10. Great deal. Even at that time, that was a good deal. So I said, well, I'm like, how much? He's like, oh, I've got a huge storage shed full of old wax. So I said, what if I bought a truckload? What can I get for what type of volume discount will you offer? Well, $10 a box. I'm like, but if I buy one, $10 a box. But if I buy 1,000, $10 a box. Okay. So, hey, maybe I should have taken him up on the offer because 2 years ago that would have been a deal because now they're what, 50? 89 Donruss might be more than that now. So that was disappointing. But I've had some great card shop experiences in the last few months. So basically, if I need supplies, I'll go there. Otherwise, I'll just skip his garage sale altogether. But kind of disappointing. So then I went to Target and it was disappointing, but that was expected. So they had a bunch of supplies, but they didn't have penny sleeves or of course top loaders or one touches. They had binders out the wazoo. They had 9-sleeve pages out the wazoo. They did have hockey. They had Upper Deck. It must have been Series 2 hockey. Bargain. I'm 2 minutes behind. So I think it was Upper Deck Series 2 hockey. So there was some of that out, but I don't do hockey. I bought Series 1 just because I caught Lafreniere fever. I bought one or two blaster boxes of Series 1, but that's probably the only time I'll ever buy hockey. Because I don't need a rip that bad anymore. So that was my Target experience. On the plus side, I didn't get any mail yesterday. On the plus side, so sometimes I find things. Sometimes when you hold, it's good. It's better when you accidentally hold. So I mentioned that I bought a ton of 2018 Topps Update Chrome. Bought a ton of it, and I was selling everything. So I had like multiple cards, like Soto and Acuna. I had multiple rookie cards that I'd sell in my eBay store. So I thought all of them had sold, but as I'm sorting through my 2018 tab for my eBay, I see a couple of Acuñas. And I'm like, I can't believe these haven't sold because I haven't adjusted the price in a long time. And so I looked in my eBay store inventory. Sure enough, these two Acuna cards are not in my eBay store inventory. So I looked up the prices. Now, I was selling these Chrome updates for $2.50. And apparently uh I must have had, I don't know, say I had 10 of them. I only listed 9 in my eBay store because I had one left over that's not in my store. These are now selling for like 25 bucks. The rookie debut. And then I found this. I haven't looked this up. It's the International Affair insert from 2018. So I've got to look those up. So I'll post those in my eBay store. So that was kind of a fun find yesterday. Looking through when I was digging through my cards from 2018. It's like, and that's happened actually a few times where it's like, I can't believe this card hasn't sold, and then I check my inventory. Oh, it's not listed for me because it's gone up 20 bucks or whatever. So that was a fun find. So that's all I had for today. Today's hobby. So I've got Zach's package going out in the mail, more eBay shipments. It's been kind of a slow week, so I'm not like terribly underwater. I've been able to kind of balance things, which is kind of nice. So I plan on that. It's going to be, I think the weather's going to be fairly nice. So I may take an afternoon bike ride today. Check the weather. I know it's supposed to be like in the 80s on Tuesday. It's going to be cold tomorrow, only 59 today. So maybe I'll take a quick ride tomorrow, 48, Monday, 75, 82 on Tuesday. So, we'll see if it rains, I'll just kind of hang out and do card stuff all day. So that's all I had for today. Have a great Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. 1millioncubs.com is the website. Madison Card Show is coming up on May 22nd, so we're about a month out. Tables are still available. You can reach out, go to MadisonCardShow.com for tables. $1 admission, Sheraton Hotel, Madison, Wisconsin. Had a great turnout last weekend. Looking for a even bigger show next month. So have a great Saturday, and we'll talk tomorrow.